All right, the time is now 1800 and I'll call to order our McMinnville Fire District's Board of Directors meeting on August 22nd, 2024. That is call to order.
President Garvin.
Roll call director.
I knew what you meant. President Garvin.
Here.
Vice President Smith.
Here.
Secretary Pratt.
Here.
Treasurer Trapp is not here. Director Sparrow.
Here.
You hear us okay, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody accounted for minus Travis.
Thank you for that, Chief. Next up, we have Pledge of Allegiance. Vice President Smith, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. That brings us to changes to the agenda, additions or subtractions tonight.
Did any of you guys, it's a trick question. Did any of you guys get the email with the 3 bids for the AV? We just got the third one. We just got the third one today. If you'd like to discuss it tonight to move forward, we can. If you'd like to wait till next month, it is over 50,000, which is above my authority, so you would have to approve it. But it is an addition and we can wait till next month if you like.
I would like to at least ask some questions.
Oh, we got,
Maybe you could get
oh,
back.
I got plenty of questions.
Yeah.
Oh, I could think I can answer your question. I think.
Fine. Yeah, fine by me.
Okay, that would be the one addition.
And just do that in your report?
I think we should do it under action required,
Okay.
please.
All right, that takes us to our consent agenda, which we have our meeting minutes from our 7/25/24 meeting. Give you guys a minute to look over those, and if anybody would like to make a motion after you've looked over them.
Mr. President, I compared my notes, everything looks perfect, and I move that we approve as submitted.
All right, thank you for that, Secretary Pratt.
I'll second it.
And a second by Vice President Smith. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Looks like motion passes 4-0. And then that takes us to our financial report, our July 24 P&L.
Yeah, in your packets, as we promised, is just the P&L as of August 13th. Current balance in the bank is just over 6.3 million. All bills are up to date, and that's it, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Hunter on the financials? Hearing none, I'll move on to public comment. Part of the meeting where members of the public can speak on anything regarding district business. We ask you not to exceed 3 minutes. Is there anybody that's submitted? No. Anybody from Zoom? No? Final call for any public comment? All right, we'll move on from public comment. That takes us to our business action required section, which is where we added the AV contract discussion. Those did come in late today, so I don't really expect us to take action on tonight, but when I was looking over them this afternoon, it just seemed like there was like apples to oranges to kiwis. One bid has TVs in it, 2 bids have TVs as options. The 2 more expensive $50,000 bids seem a lot more complete, where the lesser one is like bare bones, and so I don't know if that was by design or if that's how we got to where we got on the bids.
Michael, those are great questions. Thank you for the question. So as I think you all are aware, we've talked about this many times. The goal is to upgrade this, what you see in front of you, and the adapters to Chief Hannafin's computers and such, and kind of bring us up to the 21st century, since a lot of our meetings moving forward are at least hybrid based. We started this process back in June. to try and get it at the end of the fiscal year. Unfortunately, the bids came in over 50,000, which did require 3 bids. Just so you know, that bid was your Lewis audio bid. So it wasn't going to happen by the end of the fiscal year, so we moved it to the current fiscal year. We reached out to several other vendors to see if they would provide us a bid. Just to your point, President Garvin, how did we get here? We walked every single vendor through both meeting rooms and pointed out what our desires were. Our desires were for 2 separate independent meeting rooms that could come together as one meeting room in the event we had a large event, whatever that is. So TVs here with the TV there, we could auto select it. We could run off of, 3 TVs, speakers and such. Every person was walked through the back room, which is where all the AV equipment stores, although cockeyed, crooked, upside down and such, it's back there. And then we answered any questions as far as our desires. We let them look at electrical, anything that they wanted to do. And then we gave them our desires as I just spoke. I would not disagree with your review of this. I believe Lewis Audio as well as Hear No Evil are very comparable as far as what we would get, the ability to run 2 separate meetings if we so chose, run one large meeting, auto select with keypads. We do have cable back here, so if this was an EOC and we wanted to have news up or something like that, it would be capable of all that. Both of them I'm very comfortable with. Both of them are very complete. Just today, after quite a while, we did get a Nova's bid, like literally like somewhere around 1 o'clock-ish, lunchtime-ish. I am not looking to move forward that bid. It's a wired system. I don't believe it's not, I have not been able to come up with how it's going to run together. It runs independently, 2 separate rooms, but I don't think that there's an avenue to run together. Although it is a cheaper bid, it does not meet what we asked for the system to do. So that's kind of your apples to oranges to pears. I do believe Lewis Audio as well as Hear No Evil are fairly comparable. I will tell you what I see as the significant differences. Hear No Evil is a lifetime warranty. They warranty their product as long as we own this building and we occupy this building, they will warranty it. Not necessarily the product, right? The product has its own manufacturer's warranty, but if something stops working in 10 years, they will warranty it. Lewis Audio is 90-day. That to me was significant. Hear No Evil is also all new state-of-the-art equipment, state-of-the-art TVs, state-of-the-art speakers, new upgraded control panels, not that panel, like an actual physically new panel, which allows us to select, the different features and auto plumb in, like I said, cable TV, wireless microphones, and things like that. It is also a complete wireless system. And what I mean by that is the speakers and the cameras would be up. They are your both receive as well as output. So there isn't any pucks, if you will, which would be like these types of things in front of you to forget to put on the charger or to lose or for a battery to go bad or such. It's also spatial audio, which means it follows the person in discussion after they've started talking for a period of time, and you can set that period of time. So if someone whispers something, the camera doesn't move to them. But if they're answering a question or asking a question, the camera would auto move to them. The features, the abilities, I felt were significantly greater. It is approximately $5,000-ish, $6,000 difference. But I do think we get a more complete as well as more up-to-date system with the Hear No Evil bid. So I'll stop there and see if I hit any of your bullet points.
The one thing I would call out too is that Hear No Evil includes $4,100 and 3 TVs in their bid, where Lewis Audio and Video I didn't see any TVs included in their 51.5 bid.
No, the other one had them as options at 4,300, if I remember correctly. But no, they, Lewis Audio planned on using these same TVs, but also these same speakers. And I'll ask my staff, but I believe these speakers are probably 1988-ish speakers. I don't know if there was an upgrade at some point, if anybody knows, but 2015, okay. So the other advantage to the Hear No Evil is it is all upgraded. It also, all of their prices are commercial grade. So their TVs are commercial grade. They're not, lower end types of equipment. So one more point of clarification also, both Lewis Audio and Hear No Evil have full racks. It does include a racking system here in the back. So everything would be wireless, everything would be out of the way, and everything would be in a locked rack. So it couldn't be really necessarily manipulated, if you will, where the Innova one is not. It lives somewhere, but it's not secured.
If you take the TVs out of, if you made them more apples to apples by taking the TVs out, Hear No Evil bid's only a little less than $1,800 more than Lewis Audio and Video. The other thing, it's very small, but Lewis Audio and Video also charges $29 to put their own label, Lewis Audio and Video, on our rack system. I just feel if you're gonna advertise and brand your equipment, you should be paying for it.
I did ask about why TVs. I did ask Hear No Evil because it wasn't in my first bid that I got. Part of the problem is if they don't, these TVs are older to where they do not provide the same output, as well as there'll have to be adapters to adapt to the system versus the newer TVs. So that was their reason, because we did not ask for anybody to upgrade TVs. We didn't ask, we told them what we needed and they provided the how. So, but I did ask specifically because of the cost of the why, and that was the reason.
And for reference on TVs, the Innova bid, they want $8,300 for TVs in their bid. That's additional to their 32 grand.
Correct. It is an option though, correct?
Yeah,
If I remember
it's an $8,300 option. Are you or staff ready to move forward with the recommendation tonight?
We would love to. I feel like, I felt like it was a little rushed just because we have been prepared since June and we've needed this since June and we continue. I mean, Chief Hannafin and I had to have a conversation today because the computer that usually is in here is no longer, because of the switchover. We couldn't update it because it was so old. We're at that point to where it has to be and needs to be. So my staff and I are absolutely ready. We've been ready since June, but I do understand from a board's perspective, getting it 5 hours ago, if you have concerns, I understand.
It's in the budget, right?
It is. We did budget for it.
And it's,
does
not exceed the budget.
Point of clarification, Hear No Evil would exceed the budget by somewhere around 2,500. I believe I did 55,000, if I remember correctly, but we can absorb the 2,000. So it is, the second one is a few thousand over budget, yes.
Any coordination needed with IT and all this purchasing?
Yes, and they have already been notified. They do have to provide a Cat 5 drop, which is only coming from the other side. There's already a run, and that can be accomplished very easily.
Not much, but a little bit.
Zero almost, yeah. I mean,
Run a cable.
yes, but the cable's already run and
Oh.
already wired on the, it's literally put it through the chase that's literally right there to there. So it's there and available. It would just have to be pulled through.
Okay.
Service call costs more than the product.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, fair. Sounds like the need is now.
It would be my recommendation if you were comfortable, yes, sir.
And your recommendation would be the Hear No Evil bid.
The recommendation would be to Hear No Evil, yes, sir.
And Secretary Pratt or Director Sparrow, do you have any questions for staff around the audio video bids?
No questions. I think that the warranty itself is worth the extra money.
I felt the same.
thank you for that.
I agree, the, hear no evil, components just look better than what the other one is, so.
Okay. If you guys are comfortable moving forward with the vote tonight, I would entertain a motion to move forward with the audio video purchase and retrofit by Hear No Evil. Do we need a
I'd
motion?
make that motion.
Thank you, Director Sparrow, and a second,
I'll make that second.
and a second by Vice President Smith to move forward with the AV retrofit by Hear No Evil. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you for that. It takes us to our board committee and liaison reports. And first up, we have LoSAP. I know Treasurer Trapp is gone, but Assistant Chief Law wanted to share anything with that, if there's anything new?
No.
Nothing new, okay. Next up, we have branding. If Director Sparrow or Assistant Chief Darby would like to share anything around branding. Looks like we had some signs going up maybe, and
Sparrow has anything to say.
Nothing new to report. It looked like some of the vehicles are getting the decals on the doors, and like you said, they're prepping for the new signs.
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, I can add a little more clarification to that. Thank you, Director Sparrow. So right now, we're making pretty good progress. We've got 8 vehicles parked so far, and we've had the Chehalem sign, we've done a really great job. They've been coming in after hours, and also each has done an amazing job. We've actually been prepping the doors, moving the decals, getting the doors prepped, which has actually been saving us $100 a vehicle. So that's been great, really great teamwork in that sense. Every little dollar counts. So we're about halfway through the fleet. Monument signs for the building, you guys probably saw the new ones. Those are not the permanent ones. Those are just temporary signs for the interim. One of the components is on backward for the sign, and we don't have an ETA on that yet, but those will do for now. And eventually what's going to happen, our permit got approved today from the city. We'll do a concrete pad, and we're going to do an engraved sign that'll look just with the color elements that you see there, but it'll be for more permanent fixtures. So, and then we get to keep the 2 other signs for backup too. So, and then moving forward, we will do a monument sign at Station 12. We won't do concrete though. We'll just do very similar to what we have, just standard posts, so that we don't need a big concrete pad at Lucian's front yard. So, and then another thing, the flag was done. If you haven't seen it, there is a new McMinnville Fire District flag. It's flying right now. So when you take off, look up in the sky, it's flying away. So more to come on this. There's still some more projects that we got on the horizon, but that's where we're at right now. Making good progress.
thank you for that. Thank you for everybody involved in that. That takes us to item B, board information reports. Anybody have anything to share on that? I'll share, Chief, Michelle and I went to McMinnville and Lights rate setting meeting on Tuesday. Currently we pay about $75,000 a year in hydrants, and if that rate increase would have went through as presented, that would have went to 90,000, and then next year it would have went to 104,000. We did get a stay for this year, so they kept the hydrant rate at what it is. So that was a productive meeting, and we agreed to have some further conversation around that. So next up, we have department reports, and first up was local 3099.
Only thing I have today is September 8th is our softball tournament, so coming up real soon. We have, I think, 9, maybe 10 teams signed up. We do have food trucks and snow cone trailer, I guess, or truck down there. So we're shooting for family friendly, and come down, participate, or bring your families and have lunch and watch some softball. Should be most of the day with that many teams going on. So
Start at what time?
It's gonna start at 8 AM.
And Joe Dancer,
Joe Dancer, yep.
anything else?
That's it for us. I did talk to President Goodman about the volunteers. He texted me that he wasn't gonna be able to make it. The only thing that he wanted out there was the 150th, but it looks like Chief's gonna talk about it in his, so that's it for them too.
Thank
Thanks.
you. Looks like we're on to the chief's report then, and first up is the AP Triton update.
This staff in this department has been run through the ringer the last month. The rubber has met the road. Staff is working very hard. The crews are working very hard. AP Triton is a big piece of that. We have provided all the information that they have requested. We did have to do one roundabout, but Chief Hannafin worked with their staff to get our response information. So she did a great job with that. AP Triton has actually already started their documents. Now we're at their expert areas. So individuals of us are getting phone calls of, what does this really mean? What does this really look like? Is this true? How many of these? So it's been a really busy, I'll call it month, but specifically 3-4 weeks. Their next plan is they're putting all those products together. In October, they will be doing a site visit. They will be here for technically 4 days. 3 working days all day, in which all staff will have to be present. For your own knowledge, that is a board meeting week, and that Thursday night they will present I don't want to say rough draft, but a rough draft, if you will, of the actual product. The first night that they're here, they will be doing a public meeting. There will be, I have sent them to the Chamber of Commerce. There's 3, they have you pick 3 entities in which they reach out to and ask. And so I've chosen the public. I've chosen the Chamber for a business perspective. So the Chamber is going to help us send out information. And then staff as well as surrounding departments. So I called it fire service, if you will. They will reach out, provide a questionnaire that will be filled out anonymously. And then that night, they will hold a public meeting, if you will, where you can attend, ask questions about the process, give desires, like this is what I would like to see as a citizen, the fire department be able to provide, those type of things. That will be the first night that they're here, which is a Monday night. We will work diligently Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of that week. 21 through 4. Whatever your board meeting is, the last day in October. And then they will come to that meeting. We will get them on the agenda and they will do a short presentation of just, it will not be a big presentation, but a short presentation of where they're at. And then take any direction, comments, questions from the board. So it's specifically for the board, not staff that night. After that, end of November, we will receive an actual official rough draft in which we will have 1 week to review the entire document for accuracy and errors. The month of December, they will complete it. It's due, I believe, by December 28th as a final draft. And then your board meeting in January, they will present the findings to the board. And that board, president, if you wanted to have a special meeting, for time purposes, I would leave that up to you, but we put it on that date specifically, at least as a placeholder now, but we can move that. So I think things have been going very well. Staff did an excellent job. There was a lot of very small ticky-tack, information that we don't just have sit right in front of us. So all staff worked really hard. They're already busy and they put a lot of stuff aside to get that accomplished. So I'm very proud of them and the products that they gave. So I would say we're at probably close to maybe the 40% mark, maybe 50% mark of the product. Question on that? EC3, another rough 3 weeks. We have made our transition to VC3, which is our new IT provider. Last week, in the beginning of this week, we did the official transfer of power, if you will, for all computers, internet, firewalls, backup systems, the whole 9 yards. That was a ton of work. It's still frustrating for staff, myself included. The transition, I'm just going to leave it at that, between the two it is what it is. So we're still finding things that we can't get into. We're still working through tons of bugs of, logins and passwords and internets and things like that. But our main engineer at VC3 is an exceptional person. He works very hard. He's an 8 to 5 guy. And I know Chief Darby contacts him many times after hours and weekends, as do I. He answers 100% of the time. He'll remote into any machine at any time. We did transition to the online. I have a problem, and we weren't at that point. So those poor people were like, I don't even know. So we've pivoted, and Scott is the gentleman's name. Isabel, correct? Yeah. Isabel, yeah, correct. And now all of our staff are contacting him, and he's a manager at the organization. So but he is absolutely dedicated to make the transition. That way, everybody doesn't have to figure out, the nuances and such. So again, we're up and running. We're working, but we still have plenty of room to grow. We did have our first review by them of our system and such. There was only one recommendation. The board, of course, I recommended the board approved, so I'll take the heat for it. But we did a full redundant backup IT system, so we have dual of everything. In their review, the one thing they came back is you only have one point of failure for internet, and that's fiber. And so the recommendation is, many organizations around us go to dual fiber. A Hunter fiber and a Ziply fiber, for example, is not the recommendation of them to do that, because usually if you cut into a trench and you hit fiber, you hit everybody's fiber. So they recommend like a Comcast coax or something. We have chosen to go with Starlink as our backup, because it's completely separated from power poles and digging and that kind of thing. So that's the last ticket that we have to complete with them.
Did the Starlink configuration cost additional funds?
The Starlink, it does cost additional funds, but it was budgeted for. So it is $120 a month, I believe. But that was part of our package. Or part of our budget, let's put it that way. Not part of our package, but part of our budget. With that and the VC3, I'm going to kind of go to Ziply because they're not one and the same. They're two different companies. Ziply's our internet, but the program is the same. Ziply has completed their internet here and internet at Station 12 tomorrow, as well as next Tuesday. We will be getting all new 33 new phones here. So it's been fun for some. But it's things that were needed to be done. I'm proud of staff's work, the patience of the line staff, although I think that's probably running out fairly quickly. But, it is what it is. When you make a transition of this size, it's going to happen. And we're just trying to divide and conquer. Chief Darby has taken on part of it. I'm taking on part of it. And we're just working through it. So, but somebody said there's light at the end of the tunnel somewhere. Just
Train?
huh?
Not a train.
And we're in a tunnel too. Any questions on that or concerns? Configuration, we have nobody out on configurations. We have a total of 6. We are currently billing for 6 configuration deployments for the McMinnville Fire District. At this time, I know Hunter was working on it all day today. So we have those packets, we're completing those packets, and we'll get those packets turned in and get reimbursed for our time as well as our apparatus. That apparatus, as I've discussed before, will go into that vehicle replacement fund for future needs of vehicles. That's the intent of that money. The other money will come back in to reimburse the time. Questions on that? Apparatus update. Again, like we're not doing anything. Well, I'm going to back up and say at apparatus, Mr. Brad Stern started with us a couple weeks ago. He spent last week, most of last week, just getting the shop set up the way he would like it. Hunter has helped him significantly, getting him set up with desks and computers and, you know, the stuff he needs to make the shop that's been dormant since his dad left many years ago. And he's there now. He's been working on rigs, changing oils, putting on new brake pads. It was great to see engine one come in this morning. Well, it wasn't great to see, but it was kind of cool to see engine one come in this morning with an issue at 7 o'clock in the morning on their way home and be able to walk right into the mechanic and say, hey, I got a light that came on. Let me grab my computer and jumped in, rode around with them, figured out what it was. And so that was pretty cool to have that. And when they drove around, not relevant to what the issue was, a different sensor came in that now he's going to fix on a preventative side, which if had we not known it in the future, it would have caused us those catastrophic repairs that I've talked about. So again, although it's my understanding the fix was a pretty easy fix, they did find something that could come to bite us later. So apparatus, we do have one new medic unit here. You guys are welcome to go take a look at it afterwards. The second medic unit is available. Mr. Stern, and I'm not sure if you've got second. Okay, we're working on the second person, but they'll go down next week, pick up the second one. Our fire engines are, the first one will be shipped on the 28th of this month. The second one is approximately 3 weeks behind it. Chief Law has been working hard on setting up a in-service program for it, drivers training, cone course, pumping. Chief Burton has been working on, and Chief Hannafin are working on where equipment's going to go. As I've stated again before, we're going to really work hard to get both those vehicles identical, as you will. And then Brad has been working on, radio installations, equipment installations, power gurney installations, those type of things. So, and then Chief Darby, are those stickered later?
Not the ambulances, they're engines, yes.
Yeah, the engines, yes. We have ordered, or we have put a hold, and we're ordering the new DFM pickup for Deputy Fire Marshal Candela. It'll be just what he has now, Ford F-150 with canopy. No real frills and thrills, but we'll be replacing his vehicle. At that time, we'll get rid of the Tahoe, and his vehicle will kind of become the configuration / training, type vehicle. We will also be selling engine 14 and engine 15 as other vehicles come through the doors. We will also be getting rid of / selling, we'll see how that goes, 2 of the ambulances. One of them probably won't be a sale, it'll be getting rid of. One of them is a potential sale. So we have different teams. We've divided and conquered. Much of Chief Hannafin's staff is taking care of the equipment type stuff, as well as the evacuation of the old ones as they get done. Brad is working on, the equipment, putting it on the vehicle. And then the rest of staff, Chief Hannafin getting ambulance licensing, Michelle taking care of the insurances and DMVs and such. So lots of work. Any questions on the rigs? Credit cards, believe it or not, we have credit cards. We have no credit, as we've been told, but we have credit cards. So we have divided that. Hunter was the lead on that. got those for us. All staff chiefs now, Hunter and Donna, all have district credit cards. We've removed all of their credit cards and debit cards out of the system. We still have them, but we've removed them. And we're working on that credit card policy and procedure for all. We have also moved to a single point of ordering in almost all cases with Hunter. So all orders come through him and he places the orders, except for emergency situations, Chief Hannifin's staff, if they need something immediately, or Brad, for example, on a vehicle or something like that. But we've moved as of July 1st to a single point of purchase. Questions? I invite you all to the 150th celebration. Thank you. Got a lot of things in my head right now. 150th celebration, 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Sunday. We have a lot of stuff in store for kids, for adults, station tours, demonstrations of hands-only CPR. The museum will be staffed with a couple of individuals, t-shirt sales. We've got a kids fun area that Chief Darby and his staff are working on. We've got a food court area. We've got vehicle extrication. So I invite you all to come down, say hi, shake hands, and help us, greet the community. Second Street is closed. Vehicle rides. We will be giving vehicle rides onto apparatus with drivers and spotters in all rigs. Those will come out of Tommy's Bicycle Shop. They've graciously allowed us to use their parking lot during that period of time. But love to see you guys down, and we will be doing an all department photo at 4:15. That is for anybody who has ever been part of the McMinnville Fire District in any capacity, volunteer, career, staff, anything. So we, our volunteer coordinator, Richard Schoenthal, has actually been making physical phone calls to some of the older generation that maybe don't check emails or have Facebook or such. So we have actually physically reached out to every phone number that we have, as well as email. We'll be sending out an all department email. So if you're available during that period of time, 4:15 at the station. We are putting on a hiring process for 6 individuals now. Somehow they wrangled another one today. I don't ask questions, by the way. As long as it's going that way, I don't ask. On September 3rd and 4th. So that's good news. That will help us take the relief off the career staff that has been running short and covering overtime, as well as not just overtime for vehicles, but overtime for county fairs and overtime for Linfield football games and overtime for air shows and such. They've been doing a great job. And so this will help. The goal is for this to help alleviate that. Yes, sir.
Question.
Respond to BLS sick person at 11609.
Have to go on a call, chief.
All right. Take care. Be safe.
Thanks.
Streets are southwest.
Question is, all paramedics, and how many additional positions are we bringing?
Yes, they are all paramedics. One will have her paramedic certificate within like 2 months of when she would get here if we hire her. So yes, they're all paramedics. And I believe it's 8 total that we're looking to hire.
It is. And then we'll do a couple floaters to piggyback on that. We're not stopping here. So we are looking at, I think we talked about this last time. We are working with special districts right now as a consultant, as well as Moss Adams potentially. We do have a local videographer that we're going to work with for some several like 1-minute style videos, as well as we've reached out. I don't know if reach out is the right word, but we have got a list of colleges here in Oregon that have both paramedic, EMT, as well as fire programs. And as school starts, we're going to send a team out to speak individually to those classes. So this is a step in the right direction. We're not there. We need to continue to move and we need to continue to do a better job. Thank you guys for coming. We need to do not a better job, but we need to continue our job of moving forward and getting our name out. And I think we've got a very good path forward. Yeah, it's a first step, but we still have, we still have growth.
This is for single roles or dual
These are
roles?
single roles.
Single.
Yes. Questions on that? Next weekend will be the air show. We'll be staffing Friday through Monday. Different times, different amounts of people depending on show times and or just practice. Chief Hannafin's really been the lead on that. She's worked with both the city as well as the air show staff. She's created the IEPs, created the staffing. She's in charge of the command and control crews that will be out there and assigning those crews. She's done a great job on that, and we've got pretty good staff. I think we've got everything staffed except for one brush rig.
We've got one spot on the engine. One of the last days as well.
Okay. So air show is very well attended on at this point, very well attended on Saturday. Sunday, pretty good. Monday's really low, which is probably a little bit of an advantage because it's Memorial Day coming home from the coast. So it might help the traffic, but questions on that? And one last thing I want to talk about, Chief Law has been working very hard on recruitment of volunteers and volunteers in many avenues. As I talked about for the career staff, can't just stop when we hire 6. We've got to continue to do better and think of other ways. And I think as staff, we have collectively looked at our volunteer program and said, what can we do to bolster that program? Chief Law has always done a good job recruiting, your volunteer workforce, if you will. We have several in most, if not all, academies. But we have also now expanded into a cadet program, which are currently 15, 16, 17-year-olds, which is the legal age to be a cadet. We'll probably in the future move it to 16, 17. The intent of those cadets are kind of twofold. They're to help us in the squad type environment, rehab environment, hose rolling environment, back in service environments. They are allowed to ride on engines after some training as a non-ideal age person. We're working through that process. It is legal. We do have policies and procedures. But we're really focusing on making sure they get the training. The goal behind that is when they turn 18 years old, they literally sign a different piece of paper and they get a different color helmet, shield. I guess, no, it's helmet, different color helmet. Yeah, it's blue and black. So that's really our benefit because they've already got a couple, 2-3 years worth of experience with us, and now they can go out and start responding. We had very good numbers, our first parent meeting. Do you know what number we're up to now?
At least 15 total.
Okay. At the parent meeting, we were at 10, and since we've just continued to get more and more, it's been very well received. So that's one thing we've done. The second thing is we've looked at how else do we bring in more volunteers? And when I was hired here, there were several individuals that came to me and said, well, hey, I'd like to volunteer, but I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or I was frustrated with this, or I was frustrated with that. And so we've created a single role, if you will, tender operator position, in which we've had 2 volunteers come back and are now checked off to respond as tender operators. So they're non-combat, but the nice thing is it takes a combat person off of that rig and puts it on a combat rig, and that individual can just drive. They can also drive the squad technically. And then in that time, we had at least 1, maybe 2 volunteers that then approached and said, well, could I be part of that squad program and help the students in rehab and things like that? And these are volunteers that are longtime volunteers here that are interested in come back and help how they can. So I just want to point out, we're not we're not stopping with the status quo. We're trying to really reach out and make avenues for people who want to help in both career as well as volunteer opportunities and make them feel welcome and get a position for them if we can. So that is my end report, sir. Unless there's questions.
Thank you. Any questions, Chief?
A comment though, this is a lot of information and a lot going on. So you and your staff and crews as well should be commended for how much you're getting done.
Thank
you. And how much is going on. And it's really a lot. Appreciate the communication, all the work you're doing.
All right, item B, correspondence. Any? Don't have anything.
We have not received anything.
Hearing none, any additional informational items? Hearing none, or
If I could go into correspondence,
Yeah.
thank you, Chief Law. Dave Wallace, one of our volunteer officers, is retiring after 50 years. Next business meeting, which would be the first Wednesday of September. So if we are gonna, say thank you and such, he will be his gifts and his going away will be part of the awards party that we have into February 1st to March. But love to have any of you here that wanted to come and say thank you for 50 years worth of service. That's.
Can you repeat the date and time, please?
Thank you. September 4th at 2000. Yeah, thank you, Amy.
all right. Hearing none, our next meeting will be Thursday, September 22nd at 6 p.m.
Might be the 24th.
26th.
Did I have it wrong? Oh,
The 22nd is a Sunday.
well, I was just thinking if you guys would come in on Sunday, it's easier.
Sure.
We got a lot of stuff going
So
on. Work 7 days a week. Sorry.
Thursday, September 26th.
26.
Thank
My
you for that. Vice President Smith at 6 p.m. And with that, we'll now go into executive session after we clear the room and we'll talk to Michelle and some of that. All right, the time is now 19:25 on August 22nd, 2024, and I'll adjourn our executive session. Time is now 19:26 on August 22nd, 2024, and I'll adjourn our regular McMinnville Fire District Board of Directors meeting.
Thank you all.